So his great wisdom, his great virtue in constructing the temple notwithstanding, Solomon is very sharply criticized for, among other things, his foreign worship. His new palace complex had a tremendous amount of room for his harem, which is said to have included 700 wives. Many of them were foreign princesses. Many of them would have been acquired to seal political alliances or business alliances, noble women. 700 wives and 300 concubines, as well as various officials and servants. Now, of course, these numbers are likely exaggerated, but Solomon's diplomatic alliances likely necessitated unions that would, of course, have been condemned by the Deuteronomistic historian. He is said to have loved women foreign women from the nations that God had forbidden, and he succumbed to the worship of their gods and goddesses, which is really the key point. I mean, the whole fear of the foreign spouse is that one will be led to or will support the worship of foreign deities. And so Solomon is said to have built temples for Moabite gods and Ammonite gods. This all may point to a general tolerance for different cults in Jerusalem in the 10th century and in the 9th century. This may not have been an issue in Jerusalem in the 10th and 9th century, but it's an issue for the later Deuteronomistic editor. They have no tolerance before this. So Solomon's primary flaw, in the Deuteronomistic historian's view, is his syncretism, which is prompted by his marriages to these foreign women who brought their native cults to Jerusalem. His religious infidelity is said to be the cause of the severe problems and ultimately the division of the kingdom that will follow upon his death. In order to support this tremendous court and harem, as well as the army and the bureaucracy, Solomon did introduce heavy taxation, as well as the corvée, which is forced labor or required labor on state projects. So you have this developing urban structure, complex, developing bureaucratic urban structure that's now being superimposed on the agricultural life. And that leads to all sorts of class distinctions and class divisions between officials, bureaucrats, merchants, large-scale landowners who were prospering perhaps, smaller farmers and shepherds who are living at more of a subsistence level. So you have divisions between town and country, between rich and poor. And this is a great change from the ideals of the tribal democracy, some of the ideals that some of you looked at when we were talking about legal texts, where there seem to be these economic blueprints for bringing about some economic equivalence through sabbatical years and jubilee years and so on. In short, the list of social and economic ills that were enumerated by Samuel in 1 Samuel chapter 8 when he was trying to persuade the people from establishing a monarchy, that list of ills. You'll have a standing army, a standing army you'll have to support. You'll have to do labor for the state. You're going to have all kinds of taxes and special levies. You're going to be virtually enslaved. Many of these things seem to have been realized, the Deuteronomistic historian would like us to believe, in the reign of Solomon. Moreover, as we've already seen, the very institution of monarchy itself didn't sit well in some quarters because centralized leadership under a human king seemed to go against the older traditions of Hebrew tribal society, united by covenant with God, guided by priests, prophets, occasional judges, inspired charismatically. So already before Solomon's death, the northern tribes were feeling some alienation from the house of David. They're resenting what they perceive to be Solomon's tyranny.